I froze in the doorway of the dimly lit office, the after-hour silence shattered only by the distant hum of the city traffic below. There, under the harsh glow of a desk lamp, my wife's boss, Marcus, that towering, self-assured titan of the corporate world, had his hand brazenly sliding up Emily's thigh, disappearing beneath the hem of her pencil skirt. "Leave," he growled, his voice low and possessive, locking eyes with me as if I were an intruder in my own marriage. "She's mine now, or face the consequences." Emily's face flushed crimson, her hand hovering uncertainly over his, not pushing away, but not committing either, a silent betrayal that hit me like a gut punch, leaving me breathless and reeling. My mind raced back to the beginning, desperately piecing together how we'd ended up here. It started innocently enough, 6 months ago, when Emily landed a promotion at Apex Dynamics. She'd come home beaming, her eyes sparkling with a fire I hadn't seen since our early dating days. "This is it, Tom," she'd said, wrapping her arms around me in our cozy kitchen, the scent of her lavender shampoo mingling with the aroma of the lasagna I'd burned slightly in my excitement. "Marcus sees potential in me. Real potential." I was proud, genuinely. Her late nights at the office meant sacrifices, but I rationalized them as a price of ambition. Yet, a nagging doubt crept in, like a shadow lengthening at dusk. Why did she mention Marcus so often, his name slipping into conversations with a casual admiration that bordered on reverence? At first, the changes were subtle. Emily started dressing sharper. Silk blouses that hugged her curves, heels that clicked with authority on our hardwood floors. I'd tease her about it over breakfast, my fork pausing midair as I watched her apply lipstick with newfound precision, trying to impress the big boss. I'd joke, but her laugh would falter, a flicker of something unspoken in her eyes. "It's just professional. Tom, you know how cutthroat it is there." I'd nod, swallowing the unease, telling myself it was paranoia born from my own stagnant job at the warehouse, where promotions felt like distant myths. But love blinds you, doesn't it? It wraps doubt in layers of denial, making you question your own sanity rather than the truth staring back. One evening, as rain pelted our apartment windows like accusatory fingers, I found her phone buzzing on the counter. A text from Marcus. "Can't stop thinking about our strategy session. You're brilliant." Innocent words, but the emoji, a winking face, twisted the knife of suspicion. I didn't confront her then. Instead, I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my footsteps, my heart pounding with a mix of anger and fear. What if I was wrong? What if accusing had shattered the fragile trust we'd built over 8 years? Emily had always been my anchor. Through my parents' divorce, her miscarriage 2 years back that left us both raw and clinging to each other. Guilt gnawed at me for even doubting her. She deserved better than my insecurities. The red flags multiplied, each one a whisper building to a scream. Late-night calls she took in the bathroom, the water running to mask her murmurs. The way she flinched when I touched her unexpectedly, her body tensing like a secret called tight. "Work stress," she'd murmur, curling into me on the couch, her head on my chest as we watched mindless TV. But her scent had changed, subtle notes of his cologne, musky and expensive, clinging to her clothes. I'd bury my face in her neck, inhaling deeply, rationalizing it as shared office air. Inside, confusion roiled. Was I losing her? Or was I the one pushing her away with my unspoken accusations? Then came the company gala, a glittering affair in a downtown ballroom where crystal chandeliers cast fractured light on polished floors. Emily insisted I attend, her hand squeezing mine as we entered, but her eyes scanned the room until they landed on Marcus. He strode over, his suit tailored to perfection, exuding that alpha confidence that made lesser men shrink. "Tom, good to see you," he said, his handshake firm, almost challenging. But his gaze lingered on Emily, a predatory glint that she met with a shy smile. As the night wore on, champagne flowing like forgotten promises, I watched them from across the room, his hand on her lower back during a work discussion, her laughter too bright, too intimate. Jealousy burned in my throat, hot and bitter, but I drowned it in another drink, telling myself it was networking. Love, I thought, means trust, even when it hurts. Back home that night, the tension erupted in fragments. "You seem cozy with Marcus," I said, my voice sharper than intended as she unzipped her dress in our bedroom, the zipper's rasp echoing my fraying nerves. She paused, her reflection in the mirror meeting my eyes with a mix of defensiveness and guilt. "He's my boss, Tom. It's professional respect." But her words hung heavy, laced with unspoken layers. We made love that night, desperate and fierce, as if to reclaim what I feared was slipping away. Yet, in the quiet aftermath, her breathing steady beside me, doubt whispered. Was she thinking of him? The breaking point loomed like storm clouds. Whispers at my own job, colleagues who'd heard rumors through the grapevine about Apex's power couple. I dismissed them at first, anger flaring at the gossip mongers, but they planted seeds that rooted deep. One afternoon, I drove to her office unannounced, my hands gripping the wheel until knuckles whitened, the radio static mirroring my chaotic thoughts. Moral conflict tore at me. Was spying betrayal of its own? But fear propelled me forward, a primal need to know overriding ethics. And now, here I was, in that cursed office, the air thick with a metallic tang of betrayal. Emily's eyes darted to me, wide with shock and something darker. Regret? Desire? "Tom, wait!" she stammered, finally pulling away from Marcus, her skirt rumpling as she stood. But Marcus didn't flinch. He straightened, a smirk playing on his lips, his posture screaming entitlement. "She's outgrown you, buddy. Face it, she needs a real leader." His words sliced through me, igniting a fury that blurred my vision. Heartbreak crashed in waves. Confusion at how I'd missed the signs, anger at a deception, love that refused to die even now. I lunged forward, the desk edge biting into my palms as I grabbed his collar, the fabric crisp under my fingers. "Get your hands off her." But Emily's voice cut through, trembling. "Tom, please, it's not what you think." Lies or half-truths. In that moment, denial crumbled, the trust we'd nurtured shattered like glass underfoot. Guilt flickered in her eyes. She'd rationalize it too, perhaps, as excitement in a stagnant life, a thrill that masked her own fears of settling. The twist came swift and unforeseen. As security burst in, summoned by some silent alarm, Emily turned to Marcus, her voice steady despite the chaos. "This ends now. I was wrong." She grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the door, her touch electric with urgency. But in her other hand, clutched tight, was a flash drive, evidence, she whispered later, of Marcus's embezzlement scheme, one she'd uncovered and played along with to expose. The infidelity? A fabricated ruse, a moral gray area to gain his trust. But the lines had blurred, emotions tangled in the deception. We fled into the night, rain slicking the streets, my heart a maelstrom of relief and residual pain. "I almost lost you," I murmured in the car, the wipers thumping like a guilty heartbeat. She squeezed my hand, tears streaking her face. "You never did, but I lost myself." The betrayal wasn't just haze. It was the systems, the ambitions that corrupted. As sirens wailed in the distance, I realized the true shock. Love survives not despite fractures, but because of them, forged stronger in the fire of doubt. Yet, in quiet moments since, I wonder if a hand on her thigh was entirely an act, or if some part of her craved the danger. Trust, once broken, mends with scars that ache in the rain.